So good morning friends. So today we will be talking about temporary tables. So before just we go ahead and understand about temporary tables, we will again go back to users and privileges. So as of now, what I will do, I will just close my MySQL workbench. Let me close it and let me open it again. And why I am doing it, you will just realize it. So when I open it again, you see that we can log in into MySQL using various users. So I have been logging in into MySQL using the root user, and at first stage, the first thing which comes in while you work with any SQL database is the user account. So we are working with the root user as of now. Similarly, you can create some other kind of users. So you can go ahead and create add account and you say a new username. Say you again, I give it new user itself. Let it be the same, and the password is root for this, and again the root for this. And again, let me go over here, see the account limits. It is okay. Administrative roles. So let us give it all the roles again. As of now, we are not seeing what exactly we can do out of it, and let us go and apply. So you see over here that a user has again been created, which is new user over here, and in similar way now you can log in with this user. So why we discussed about users before going ahead and talking about temporary tables. So what exactly are temporary tables? So we do create tables. So tables are something which belong to a part which belongs to a container which is the database. So again, temporary tables are also something which belongs to the database. Why exactly temporary tables are required and what is their purpose? So temporary tables are actually very important for any database to run in a good way, to perform well, to do good in actual production like scenarios. Temporary tables are very useful. So okay, so just before we go to the practical part, let us just understand what exactly are temporary tables. So uh, when we say a temporary table, so at first you log into MySQL using a user. So first thing you need to know about temporary table is temporary tables are specific to users. So whenever you log into MySQL, so we just saw we log into MySQL, and this is a connection. There is a connection, and MySQL works on client server architecture. So on you in when you connect the client to the server, there is a user, there is the user password, and then the client connect to the server, and there is a session which is prepared. So as soon as that session is prepared, you can create up a temporary table, but that temporary table will be valid and will be visible to only that specific users and to that specific session. As soon as you end the session, the temporary table is gone. So this is the importance of temporary table. Like temporary table remains in the system temporarily. It does not remain indefinitely like other tables remains. Something like this, these tables. When you see of these tables, so these tables remain in the system forever. So like the employees table, task table, the temporary table does not remain in the system forever. So these table remains in the system only for that particular session and is available to only that particular user. Now what is the use of temporary tables? So for example, you are working for a banking software, and your software, you need to put up various queries to fetching data, and those queries are very costly. Now what is the meaning of costly? Costly in computers always means that a query is taking a lot of time or a lot of resources, a lot of CPU, a lot of memory. This is what it means by costly in the sense of computers. So you write up a query, and that query is very costly. It has a lot of joins. Again, we will be talking about joins in coming chapters. Just understand the concept of temporary tables, and that query is very costly. And you have to run this query again and again within a single session. Say for example, while you are filling up the form, you have to check if all the that kind of user is not present in the system. And to check that, you have to check the bank details also, you have to check the card also, you have to check the name of the person, you have to check the phone number. Then there can be a lot of other things which you have to check, and there can be data which you have created a database in which everything is bifurcated into different tables. So to fetch the data, you need to join all these tables, and then you are checking things, something like this. So again, if you are required to do these things again and again, you will have to run this same query again, and it will take the same CPU, same memory, same everything again and again. The query will go to the query parser, the query will go to the optimizer, and it will take a lot of time. So again, the timing comes into the picture, and here what's like temporary tables comes. So it is a very important concept for performance engineering. If you are like seeing up your performance engineer at some place, and you want your system to work good in a good like speed, you need to make sure that your developer has huge temporary tables as and when required. So now, rather than like using the same query again and again, what you will do, you will create a temporary table out of this query, and you will store all of the data of this query inside that temporary table. Now, when you have to use this data again and again, you do not have to run this query again. You just need to see the temporary table. And the good point is this temporary table is washed off as soon as your user logs off the session. The session has ended, the temporary table has gone. So it does not take any extra space. It is a table which just remains in the memory for that specific time, and then when the work of that table is done, it is washed upon like automatically, and like it does not affect your system or other users also. And second good point is you can have the same name of temporary table, like different users can use the same name of the temporary tables, because one temporary table is binded to one session and one user. So other user can even like use the same temporary table, the same name. So it will not create an anomaly, because the previous temporary table was bounded to user A. So user B can go ahead and create the same temporary table. So this is the way, or he can create the another temporary table. So this is only also user specific. If a user is doing a task A, he can create a temporary table as per the task A. If the user B is doing task B, he can create a temporary table as per task B. So in the similar manner, this process or this phenomena can be used in various ways, and obviously this is something which is also available in Microsoft SQL. And for a good performance, when developers write up a stored procedure, it becomes a duty of a performance engineer to make sure that he checks that the temporary tables have been created accordingly, and the use of temporary tables is good. It means that he needs to check that in stored procedure, the developer is not like recalling the query again and again. Rather, he is just calling it once, storing it in a temporary table, and then using the temporary table again and again. So now we will go ahead and learn on the practical session of temporary table. Now, how do we create a temporary table? So we create the temporary table in the same way as we create our tables. We just use a word extra, that is the temporary. You can see over here that here we are creating a table department, and here we are creating a temporary table which is like department underscore table. So again, while creating up a table, we can also create a table using this statement. So this will create a same table as the departments, as we have said limit equal to 0. So it will not fetch any row, rather it will just like fetch the description of the table, which is department ID or name. So either I can also copy this over here and like paste it out here, something like this. So this is also good, but let me keep it this way. So let me run all these queries and show it to you. So at first we are using the database, then we are creating up the table, and it's a department already exists. So we are dropping up department, not departments. Now it will not give an error. Let me clear them and rerun. So you can see that the temporary table has been created. So this has a very simple concept, and otherwise like the table and the temporary table for that specific users behave very similar. As you work for table in the similar way you work for temporary table, now here we are inserting values inside the temporary table. So again, like we can insert values in like using the select statement also. We will discuss this in the next chapter. So let me insert it. Column count does not match. So it says column count does not match. So why it says column count does not match? Because I have mentioned up a star over there. So let me copy the name part of from here and go back here in my query, and just instead of star I will mention in department name, and let me run it now. So now this does not give an error, it is showing me green symbol. So two rows has been affected. So you can see over here, like I majorly wanted you to explain like the working in of temporary table and tables are very similar. They do not have any difference, but there is a specific purpose of temporary tables which have already been defined to you. And as a performance engineer, it is very important for you to make sure that temporary tables are used in a good way. So again, you can see this query. So queries will be something like this. So you need to make sure that query something like this which have some joins, like it has some inner join, are not repeated again and again. So I will bring this chapter to the close with this, and in the next chapter we will be studying about the insert statement. So thank you guys, please do like and share my videos. Have a great day.